Hello everybody, happy Tuesday, Danny Shay here. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for liking, unliking, disliking, subscribing. I got a couple of MAGA people commenting yesterday, and I'm like, oh my gosh, do you realize how much Kool-Aid you drank? And I know some people get triggered when I say the Kool-Aid thing because of Jonestown. I think it was Jonestown. And so for that, I apologize. Don't mean to trigger anybody on that. But it certainly is a cult that these people are in, and they're not listening to the full news. When was it? I was reading Heather Cox Richardson's, hang on one sec. Heather Cox Richardson's, I'm back, newsletter, and she starts off in October 28th, today, 1929. I think, is today the 28th? No, it doesn't matter. 1929, when everybody was happy, everybody was spending money, lots of people, lots of rich people, lots of poor people. And the next day, it looks like 10 o'clock in the morning, things were starting to unravel in the stock market. And instead of having lots of rich people, all them rich people, they became poor overnight. A lot of them. And there were a lot of people trying to figure out how to get this economy back on track. And it's a great article to read. It's a great reminder that things go in cycles and that we can have everything we need one moment and the next moment it's just gone. It's just gone. So it's important to just be aware of what is good in our life and what we have. And one of the things for me is we always have the grounding ability of nature. And we can always put a smile on our face no matter what. And I've got a spot on my glasses. Hang on. Oh, way better. Way better. Okay. All right. Where am I going with this? So when we were in that time frame, 1929, 1939, when the bottom fell out of the stock market and so many people were unemployed, no one knew how to combat this. People, some of the rich people were talking about cutting taxes more, and not allowing the government to step in. What was it? So the president at that time was President Hoover, and he didn't know much about finances. He was struggling, and when it came time to vote again, they said no, and they brought this guy in, FDR guy. I don't know. What did he do? Well, he just stayed a little too long. He stayed for 4 terms. Well, actually 3 and a little bit more. And he started that great new deal. Joe Biden seems to have been following that playbook a little bit in getting us out of what potentially one of the worst economic situations. And he made it so much better by having the government spend a lot of money. So instead of, for me, instead of spending money on bombs and jets, spend money on infrastructure. Spend money here. We're all thinking about going to space and blah, blah, blah. Spend money here. Fix this so that people don't have food insecurities, housing insecurities. Yeah. All right. So today I wanted to look at the cards that called on me were the contact cards. And I haven't used these in a while, so let's see what we get with them. What's the journey with the contact cards? These cards bring about a level of awareness that the Galactics seem to have been through before in one way or another. So what's the messages that they will give us? And ooh, that one flew out. Ha. Pod. So it's not a spaceship like a mothership. It's a little pod. You get in it, off you go. Is it an escape pod? Is it just I'm just going on to see what's going on pod? It could be that. So let me drop this down so you can see what I'd be looking at and where we're going to go with this. So I put that in the center. I put 4 cards up around. And so this is our personal journey that we're dealing with. This is what we got going on right now, what we're seeing. So often we think that it is, oh, they are doing this. Oh, we are doing that. This is our personal journey. What are we doing? What's our journey? Okay, so I put these in, the north, south, east, and west. It doesn't really matter. That's just for me. Above, that overshadows. Below, the base, the future, the past. However you want to look at this. Let's just look at the top. And we get Lyra. And Lyras are the parents of things. Let's just flip these all over and kind of see where this goes. Because it feels like, do we have parents overseeing our travels in our pods, in our little pods, as we travel through different arenas, different awarenesses? Do we have somebody looking over us? Possibly. Let's see what the South has to say. Association. Oh. Okay, another alien. So that would be the council. So we have the council. We have the parents, the council. So it feels like we shouldn't be doing this on our own. We have our higher awareness of guides with our parents, right? We have the council, which is higher than that. We have the black hole, and we have the zetas. Black hole is introspection, and the zetas, hang on, is our intellect. Parents, intellect, group association, our community, and introspection in this pod. So as we are going through, here's what I'm hearing in my own head. And you guys can, however you interpret these cards, however you interpret your parents, your counsel, your introspection, your intellect, your journey in the pod. What I hear from this is that we need to act like adults in the room. Yesterday, I was so upset with the political news. I was like railing. I wasn't calm. Maybe outside it was, but inside I'm just like churning. And this is all for the journey that we're going on, the pod that we're in. how we deal with this information. What are we going to do with it? If we were the parent advising these young children who are our elected leaders, and some of them are acting up, some of them are bad, how would we deal with them? Maybe we would say, you know what, we need to go to therapy because we don't know how to deal with these out of control kids. So you go to the council. You go to the Alien Association, the higher source. Go get some counsel. Go figure out, hey, what do we do? How did you guys do this? Give me some ideas. Are they going to tell us the way? No, they're just going to show us maybe some different paths that we can take. And then we will use our intellect and our introspection to figure out the correct course in this pod that we're in. Does that make sense? It feels like this is a time not to be reactionary. It's a time to be the adult in the room, stay in the community, be smart about it, and this is a time for reflection. What can go wrong with this? What can go wrong? And how do we stop it in our minds? How do we keep the course we want to keep? There we go. How do we keep the course that we want to keep? For me, it's about peace and love. How do I keep that peace and love going in these challenging times? Not by being reactionary, for sure. Okay. So, the other cards that were calling me were the Shaman's Dream. So we'll just throw a little Shaman's Dream. This is kind of like a little ramble, isn't it? And then I'm going to use my Fountain Tarot. I'm going to look at the economy in the future. Since, today is the anniversary of the big crash. Okay, Feast of Plenty. Choices and their consequences. Certainly, right? We have choices, and whatever choice we make, we have consequences. If I'm acting like a petulant child, what will be the consequences of me acting like this petulant child? I love it. It's being covered by Joyful Muse. Yay, 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 inspiration. What are we being inspired by? The news? The news? No, hell no. Hell no. The petulant child? Well, maybe. At the base of the reading, Skywriting the Fates. I was thinking about this morning. There was, I read something and I was trying to figure it out in my head that before we come down to this planet, before we come into this body, we write our soul contract. And in that soul contract, we come down and then we have our path that we walk. And we have free will. We get to make decisions on how to do this. And I'll get these two words mixed up. So they said, you have your fate and your destiny. And fate is what your soul contract is, and destiny is how you walk that fate. I think that's it. And I was going, does that make sense? Because it really didn't. Either way, we have free will to either follow our soul contract or not follow it. And sometimes we get off course, but then we come back because all the roads lead to going back to source. So maybe we'll have to come back and redo some things. Who wants to do that? Anybody? Raise their hand. I want to come back. I do. I do. I want to come back. What would I come back as? Anyway, skywriting the fates. To me, this just reminds me to tap into what our soul contract is. And how do we do that? Well, what brings us joy? What brings us inspiration? That is what we agreed to. In the past, winter's dream, gestation period. Okay, so a lot of times people will think, and we're heading into the winter season, we think that, oh, the winter, cold, bleak, can't do anything. But this is a gestation period for spring. So this is building up our stores or using our stored wares that to sustain us through the winter as we recreate what we want in the future. At the top of the reading, many masks, the authentic self. Many masks. So this is many paths as well to me. Shakespeare said, all the world is a stage and we are merely players. What play are we in? What are we doing? Where are we going? Squirrel. All right. And to the east. Let me drop this down because this is good. I love it when things fall together. So I was just doing like a Celtic cross. And for me, a lot of times, north, south, east, west, the east card, the potential near future is eyes of the eagle, rise above the fray. So in this time, let the people who are in the weeds be in the weeds. There are weed whackers. And I don't know, are you one of them? I'm not. I'm not a weed whacker. I'm a whacker, but I'm not wanker, but I'm not a whacker. Who would that be? Sheldon Whitehouse, Jamie Raskin. Some of these guys that, and some of the tarot readers that get on and do this every day. Beating the bushes. Giving us information, calming us down from the nuts of being in the fray. As we rise above it and we look down below it and we go, yeah, okay, look at that. Look at that orange menace down there. And look at that brown Indian woman who is taking them on. She is in the weeds. Let me tell you, she's in the weeds. She's tired. Oof, she's tired. And she's being attacked by all sorts of ugliness. And yet, somehow, she is rising above the fray. She's a prosecutor. She knows how to rise above it. And that's what this spread is asking us to do. Rise above the fray. All right, and find our joyful muse. What is our true purpose on this planet? True purpose on this planet is not to look at all of this feast of plenty. You don't want to eat everything on the buffet table. I think Abraham says something like that. You just want to take what you like from the buffet table. Because there may be a plate of liver and onions on that buffet table. Who would ever do that? Who would ever put liver and onions on a buffet? Who would ever put liver and onions on a plate? Oh. All right, let's take a look at the economy. Let's take a look at the economy because We were talking about the challenge of the Great Depression, soup kitchens, so many struggling, losing fortunes, so many that didn't have fortunes and lost jobs. So let's just take a look. What? What's the economy like? Are we in the winter now? Do we need to save things? Are we going into the winter? So do we need to store things? What is going on? Give us some insight as to what we need to know about the economy in 2025. I know some of y'all are going, no, what about right now? Well, now you're in the weeds. So as I shuffle this and as I think about this, I really feel like big corporations are going to have to step up to the plate and go, okay, we kind of messed up. The path we took is not the right path. And I feel some earth changes too that are going to disrupt some of the finances. I thought about the warm current that goes up the East Coast. Oh, that popped into my head. That's slowing down a lot. That could be disastrous. Is it going to be in our lifetime? I don't know. I just think it's going to add more and more. All right. The economy, 2025. We have the Eight of Cups, walking away from sorrow. To me, this is a good card. This is like walking away from what could be. If Pumpkinhead has his tariffs and eliminates the income tax, which he isn't going to do, which he can't do. Well, number one, because he's not going to be elected. But some of these politicians, and especially him, don't know anything about history, are not using history as a guide to move us forward. They're not paying attention. Now, is Kamala Harris, does she know it? Probably not. Hopefully some of her advisors do, though. Get Heather Cox Richardson. Get a historian in there to help. New beginning. Page of Coins. There's going to be a new way forward. It's a young energy, so there's going to be something new that comes up with this. Oh, Page of Wands. Sun card in the past. The Two of Wands, making a decision. Wow, good cards. Dare I keep going? Should I keep going? These are really good cards. Here, let me drop them down. Okay, so we have the Eight of Cups, walking away from sorrow to find oneself. Walking away from this dark energy, this dark man, right? Coming up with a new financial way forward. The Page of Pentacles, Pentacles money. We have new ideas at the base of this reading. The Page of Wands. Okay, so again, new information, new ideas. Something moving forward. It's still really young energy. It's not fully flushed out yet. In the past, as it relates to this, is the Sun card. Is the happiness, is the joy. Is that in the past? No. But we have a choice to make up here with the Two of Pentacles. And this goes back to the Page of Wands. Two of Wands. Goes back to the Page of Wands. And what is the choice? Do we continue with the Joe Biden FDR plan, right? General plan. Or do we go to the dark man? And maybe that's not it. So let's keep going. I'm scared because these are such great cards right now. Internally, oh, the devil. I knew I was scared. I got the devil. I got the addiction card. The addiction to the old ways, not looking at page information, not looking at young, new idea information, hanging on to the old way. The external is, this is good, the Four of Wands, celebration. In other decks, you could see the White House. Could it be a false celebration? Yeah. Do they need to pay attention to that big blue ocean behind them? Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. Are they? No, they're not. So that's a concern. But we have Joe Biden energy being protected by these big waves. So what he's put in place, this could signal that we're still protected by this big blue wave here. And so we get to dance on the beach. The top of the reading, hopes and fears are the Tower. Okay. Whenever you're looking at new economic plans, you always are going, oh my gosh, are we going to crash and burn with this? Is this going to shake up the foundation with this Tower moment? To me, this is not a bad card, but the old way may not be working. And people keep talking about new economy, the new, is the dollar still going to be, the main thing? I think it is for the next cycle or two, whatever that means. But yeah, we are going to shift. We are going to move away to a global economy, and it's not going to be based on one country like the US dollar. And the final outcome is the King of Swords. So there's like a new truth, a new pinnacle that is going to be reached up here. It's going to be strong. This economy, it's going to be strong. There may be, we hope that it isn't going to crash and burn, but from this new base, see, if you look at this card, you see the old pyramid dropping. Excuse me. But you see the new economy being balanced and built up. So to me, this isn't bad at all. We got the strength of the King of Swords. We have the economy on the right track, moving forward. And we also have the King of Wands. So we have the Page of Wands here, followed by the King of Wands up here. This page has grown into strength. So I see the economy doing really, really well. Really well, really strong. There is some issues, though, with internally. There are some people that still want to hang on to some of the old ways, that the old foundations, and I think those old foundations are going to crumble. But there's a lot of positive in here. A lot of positive. If we can let go of our addictions of what we think is important. Okay, that's it. There it is. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Peace and love. Before I go. Tomorrow I'm going to be on with Lori and Sheila, Halloween time. So I think we're doing live. I don't know. It's going to be fun. All right. Thank you all for watching. Peace and love.